Welcome back to another interesting, eventful, hopefully funny and amusing episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting, a podcast where me, Jason,
and me, Jennifer,
have a few drinks
and talk shit about our kids.
Please follow us on Instagram at Guide to Poor Parenting and Twitter/Facebook at Poor Parent Pod. Miss Jennifer,
yes,
get
sir.
These headphones off. One of these, I always watch the recorded podcast, like, you know, the Joe Rogan stuff and some of the others. They all have the earphones on, and I'm like, we like right before we start, I hit record. You were just talking about how much you hate the sound of your voice, and I'm like, I do too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if we'll ever get to the point where we want to hear ourselves talk. But
I don't know. I don't think so. Just to be completely honest.
So if we ever go, there are podcasts, especially the ones I see on YouTube, where they don't have it. So I think we can somehow manage.
Yeah.
But how's your week been, Miss Jennifer?
It's been okay. Well, I guess a little bit better than okay, since I applied for a job within my company.
Yay.
And I got an interview. It's coming up, so I'm excited about that. Wesley started basketball practice this week, so our week has been very hectic in a way because it's 6 to 7:30, and so it's eat real quick, take a shower, go to bed. But he's been doing okay on that, so knock on wood. I'm not really, not too bad, I guess, this week. What about yours?
It's not been bad. Just been trying to gear up for Thanksgiving. Trying to figure out who's going to be coming. I invited Luis and Griffin and Mama, but we said he'd have to talk to Griffin and his mom about it. So
I got you.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And trying to advise my son on moving out because he had said he'd been looking at apartments for a while, and I told him, I was like, why don't you get used to paying your insurance and your car payment bill for just a few months, get used to that, like how it's going to impact your money situation.
Right.
And then you can make an informed decision in a few months. And he seemed to like the idea. And he said his insurance will go down in March when his birthday is, because he's turned 24 and one of his accents will drop off. So, but then I think it was Monday he came in. He called me. He said, it's like, there's an apartment complex me and my girlfriend like out in Madison. And they're offering 1 month free rent. He's like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, I was like, if you had been dating your girlfriend for 6 months, I just said go for it. Mm-hmm. Or, wait if you could.
Right.
But they've only been dating for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I like her. She's a really sweet girl.
Yes, I agree.
But they've only been dating 2 months. And I myself have been in a situation where I was friends / kind of dating someone. And then we moved in quickly, and it fell apart, and it was very awkward.
Yeah.
And we both ended up canceling the lease, and it crashed our credit.
Right.
So I'm like, just wait.
Right.
If you can wait till March, that'll be 6 months into a relationship. Mm-hmm. You'll know if she's crazy.
Right.
And they were talking about just splitting a 1-bedroom, and I'm like, why don't you get a 2-bedroom?
Just in case.
Just in case.
Y'all can be roommates instead of boyfriend.
Yeah, I was like, if it doesn't work out, you can at least get away from each other, and hopefully you can find a way to live together without fucking up your credit even worse than it is. But we'll see.
Yeah.
He's been receptive to advice as he gets older, so
that's good.
Hopefully he'll...
Well, and then the fact that he's asking for advice instead of just going and doing stuff like he's done in the past, that's really...
Like when he got the car lease.
I'm really proud, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my sweetie. How's your head been?
Yeah.
The doctor, I don't know if we talked about it in the last episode, but your doctor gave you muscle relaxants.
Yep.
You went up to Vanderbilt, and they said he felt that your shoulders, you were holding a lot of tension, and it might be causing the headaches.
Right.
So he gave you he gave you a muscle relaxant. We don't remember what it's called at the moment because we have a bad memory.
Yes. Well, and they're all hard to say. All medicines are hard to say.
But has it had any effect?
No.
No? You're not sleeping any better?
Well, I'm sleeping better, yeah. I mean, it knocks me out when I go to sleep. I still think a lot, which the other medicine's supposed to help with, but it doesn't. But when I go to sleep, I'm sleeping, but the headaches are still.
Are you staying asleep for 8 hours or 7 hours?
No.
Why would we ever do that?
Yeah, that doesn't happen. I started at half a pill, and I'm at 3 pills now.
Wow.
Yeah.
When didn't he say eventually said we'll just switch you off something else, or
He didn't say. He just thought that was the fix-all, so that was the extent of it. And so I messaged him. Luckily, there's an app that the Vanderbilt uses, and I just messaged him and was like, hey, I've gotten up to the
limit.
I think he told me the limit was like 2.5, and he was like, okay, stay on that. And then I messaged him again this week and was like, I might need a refill soon, and still got headaches. And he's like, go up to 3.
Okay.
So last night was the first time I went to 3, and
nothing.
No change.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. We'll figure it out.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of sleep, I just got my CPAP machine.
Oh, did you?
I feel like a obese old man now.
Oh.
Every bear I know, so for the heterosexual women that listen to this podcast, bears are gay, larger, hairy men, and they're like, especially the older ones, they all have CPAPs, and I have so many friends with CPAPs, and especially if they're like larger and out of shape. And just got mine. I got inducted into the CPAP club. Although I keep delaying getting the distilled water because it pushes air into your nose. I don't want to dry out my sinuses.
Right.
So I keep forgetting to get the distilled water. And then last night Zane and I were laying in bed, and he's like, we have a gallon of it up in the thing. I was like, we do? He's like, yeah, I've had it for a while.
What are you using the distilled water for?
It humidifies the air as it blows into your nostrils. So there's a little tank on the machine.
Oh, okay. So you put it in the tank. Okay.
Yeah, you put it in the tank, and then the machine, I guess, I don't know how it either heats it up or it does something to humidify the air as it blows into your nose.
Oh, okay.
So you're not waking up with dry ass sinuses.
Right. I got you. I just didn't. It was like, are you supposed to drink it? Or are you supposed to snort it? And I wasn't sure where you were going with that. Tell our listeners about the story about your mom, because I found that funny. Where the doctor was like, your CPAP machine isn't...
Yeah. So I went to the sleep doctor, and he was like, what is it? Oh, he said, he's like, it's a much newer model. It's not like your mom and dad's old CPAP machine. And I was like, okay. So, to me, that was, it just meaning not like the older models.
Right.
That's all that meant to me. And I called my mom, and I was telling her, I was like, oh yeah, the doctor said it's not like your mom and dad's old CPAP machine. And she's like, how does he know what kind of CPAP machine? I'm like, no, Mom.
Yeah.
You took that a little too literally.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So, but I will say I'm not, the doctor I got it from, I'm going to call him out because they're shutting down Roy Sleep Medicine. And I just happened to be on the Huntsville subreddit. On reddit.com, and I saw that they were shutting down.
Oh.
And then I saw all these comments about how it's a crap practice, and he's constantly prescribing stuff that's not needed. And I was like, I kind of agree, because he's going out of business, so what is that going to hurt his reputation? But
right.
When I had my appointment with him, he was he was like, he's like, tell me about your symptoms and why you might have sleep apnea. And I was like, well, I'm not sure that I do, because I sleep pretty well, and I sometimes wake up tired, but I'm usually pretty energetic. I might need a nap at 4 p.m, but I don't think that's wild and crazy.
That's just because you're old.
Yeah. And I've been like that for 20 years. Even in my 30s, I needed a nap in the afternoon a lot of times. But he's like, oh yeah, he's like, night sweats, which I do sweat, and blood pressure. He's like, it'll make your blood pressure go down. And I'm just like, that sounds a little snake oilish, because right. I've known several people with sleep apnea, and I told him, I was like, no, I have, but even before him claiming it would make my blood pressure go down, I was like, it's like I'm heavy, so I know I'm probably 30 pounds, maybe 40 pounds overweight. So it's, that's a huge indicator for sleep apnea.
Right.
And I was like, and my blood pressure too, the heavier I get, the higher my blood pressure gets. And he's like, oh, why do you say that? And I'm like, well, because every time I get fat, I get high blood pressure. And then he's like, oh, as soon as you get a CPAP machine, it'll make your blood pressure go down. I'm like, yeah. I'm suspecting shenanigans here.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I figured, well, my insurance covered all but like, frankly, 60 of it. I was kind of surprised.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, it's not going to cost me that much. And we're trying. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to pause. Oh, okay. I'll just cut that out of the recording.
Okay.
Buddy decided to jump up on the couch and try and get Milo. And Jennifer was all like, get him.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want that fat cat messing with my baby.
That's actually one thing we're a little bit worried about because this is the first. We've only had these cats since. Oh God, when we get them, like February?
Don't ask me.
It's been this year. I know it's since the new year, and I just looked at Zane last night. It was like, you know what? I just realized we're about to erect 2 giant cat toys with lots of dangling toys.
Yes.
In a few weeks when we put up our Christmas trees. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I suspect, like, the fat one probably won't climb up in it because it, like, I don't think he's a climber, but he likes steady. He's not like, he doesn't like anything shaky. But Milo's this little imp.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's going to be up in the big tree. He's going to be like trying to get every fucking thing.
Yep.
So I'm like, ugh. It's like, we're going to have to like weld the ornaments to the trees. Keep them out of it.
Well, they're fake. You can do that. It'd be fine.
Well, some of them are old though. Some of our ornaments are 40 years old.
No, I know that, but I'm saying welding.
Oh yeah.
Since it's a fake
trees
tree.
are fake.
Yeah.
It's like, well, the ornaments are
not
real.
Not like you're doing a real Christmas tree. Like I do.
I know. Oh, speaking of which, when are we going to go get it?
I don't know. Probably beginning of December, I think. I want to get it a little early this year, I think.
You just want all those extra needles everywhere?
Yeah.
That fire trap.
Yep.
Man, even though Jennifer and I are drilling on, our topic this week is actually Thanksgiving. Yep. But we need to do a Christmas one soon because I'll tell you about the death trap I brought into our house one time.
Okay. If you remember.
If I remember. Hopefully. Well, Miss Jennifer, what are we talking about today? What are we drinking today?
Yeah, you just said what we were talking about.
Leave me alone.
I can't. We're on a podcast. I have to talk to you. Today we are drinking Prosecco.
Uh-huh.
And I'm drinking an Orangeaide mixed with it. With a little splash of vodka because, the Prosecco's not strong enough. And then you're drinking a lemonade? Lemonade. With the Prosecco and some vodka in it.
Was it a splash or was it good little?
I mean...
Splash for Jennifer is a shot for everybody else.
Well, I tried to go easier on yours because I didn't know. That's, because my splash is a lot heavy-handed than other people's splashes. But I hope you like it.
It's good. I like it actually better than the Orangeaide.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just don't like lemonade. I'm just weird.
Yeah. These are they're sparkling Orangeaide limeade from Sprouts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Zane got them a while back because they're fancy bottles. So.
They are fancy bottles.
They are fancy.
Like it popped and spewed everywhere when you opened it up.
Scared the kitty cat. Oh, my Lord. So, Thanksgiving.
Yep.
What is your Thanksgiving tradition usually looks like?
Everybody getting together, eating food.
At?
Mama's.
Mama's, okay.
Yeah.
Mama does all the cooking, right?
Yeah. Well, Mama and Pops. And Patrick. Patrick now has taken over. He does the deviled eggs. And he's learning all the recipes so he can be the next generation of Thanksgiving people.
Aww.
Yeah. It used to be when my mom worked, before she retired, when she was working at the hotel, they always had Thanksgiving at the hotel. So Thursdays for Thanksgiving, she'd be working.
Right.
And so I'd go eat Thanksgiving somewhere else. Like I'd find a house somewhere.
I think you did it with us a couple of times.
Probably.
Yeah.
And then on Fridays, we would do Thanksgiving with Mama. So I always got 2 Thanksgivings out of Thanksgiving, and that was awesome. Now that she's retired, though, I have to do Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. And I'm missing out on my second Thanksgiving. But I always bring, a plate. So I always continue to eat off Thanksgiving for a little bit. But, yeah. We have a kids table with all the nieces and nephews and Wesley, and then we have a grown-up table with, my sisters, my pops, my brother, my mama, me, and anybody that's dating someone.
Yeah.
That's there. So, it's a big spread, and we usually have a really fun time. And
How many people usually come?
okay, so
Count out the family members.
yeah, so 5 kids, so that's 7 adults, and then if there's a significant other that shows up, we'll just do the main people, and then there are 5, 3, 1, so 10 kids and 7 adults.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anywhere from 20 to 17.
Yeah.
It's a
So
lot.
it's a lot of people.
I think we'll have, if Luis and his mom come, it'll be 12. If Griffin comes, it'll be 13.
It's a good spread.
So yeah, I'm not, although I was planning out the menu and Zane's like, we're going to have a lot of extra food, or leftover food. And I was like, well, I want to make, just because Kiki and Justin are really good about eating leftovers, I kind of want to make them stuff. I want to make a lot so they can take some stuff home.
Yeah.
Especially for Kiki, because I want her to be able to feed the babies for a good little bit.
Yep.
And I figured Justin and Alea, Justin's new girlfriend Alea, will take some home.
And then I'll be here over the weekend
Yep.
because you're going to be gone. So I'll be checking on the cats and doing homework and stuff. So
There
I'll
you
eat on it too. Don't
There
worry.
you go. Yeah, we were the kids. We were talking about turkeys, and it was like Justin, Zane, and Kiki were all like, "We prefer ham." So I'm gonna just get some turkey breast and cook a turkey breast and like a small spiral sliced ham, and
So I'll get turkey and ham this Thanksgiving.
There you go.
So there we go.
There you go. And we'll probably make some soup or something out of that leftover turkey.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Let's see. Last year, I know you did it with your mom. Our memories are so fucking terrible.
We came over after.
Yeah.
Because we usually eat Mom's around 1, I guess. Ish. Whenever food's kind of ready, Mama just sends out the mass text that says, come on over.
So you all just hang out at the house until the food's ready?
Well, not all of us. I tend to go over a little early just so I can hang out with my mom. But no, she kind of wants because it's a lot of people and a lot of kids. So she's trying to cook, and then everybody's bothering her. So she's like, we stay more so after and hang out then when everyone's, fat and sassy and,
Gotcha.
Not
ever.
They don't want to move because they're so full kind of thing. The kids go outside, play basketball or run amok. Or we put the TV on for them, and then adults just kind of talk around the table and still kind of pick at food because that's just kind of what you do. And then after that, I had come over because you had Thanksgiving a little bit later last year, I want to say.
Yeah.
And we hang out all the freaking time anyway. So me and Wesley had come over after.
Yeah. I vaguely remember that. I remember, what did y'all do? During COVID, I think your mom just set up to-go plates, right?
Yeah.
She didn't even have y'all in the house. She's like,
Nope.
here's a to-go plate.
Yep. She gave us plates.
Did y'all come over for Thanksgiving? Yes. Because y'all were kind of part of our pod.
Yeah, I
think y'all
don't
did.
remember. I want to say you were out of town one of those Thanksgivings. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure you went to St. Louis during one of the COVIDs, didn't you?
Last year we went to St. Louis. So for our listeners, I have a cousin in St. Louis, and my dad's younger sister, or my cousin's mom, lives there too. And we went up the day after Thanksgiving.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's what's so bad about our memories. Don't even remember like last year or the year before.
Ooh. I wonder if our listeners heard the thumping bass. I don't know if our listeners can hear that. There's a car driving by with a thumping bass, and it's like making the windows rattle. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but
well, it's done now, so we're good.
It's making my kidney stones jiggle.
What did you guys do as when you were a kid? Did you go to somebody's house? Did Mama Ruth cook?
Most of the time, we went to my mom's next eldest sister, Nelda.
Okay.
Talked about, I've mentioned my Aunt Nelda before.
Yes.
She was such a spitfire, and you would have loved her. But we used to, my mom is one of 5 kids. And so my aunt Wanda Faye, my aunt Glenda May, and my aunt Nelda Ray. And had my grandfather not broken the streak, Mom would have been Nelda Linda Kay is what she would have been. I don't know what my uncle would have been, but we all go to Nelda's house. We all went to Nelda's house, and she would always make this crab dip called crab pate every year for Christmas Eve and Thanksgiving. She would make it, and then boiled shrimp, a pot of boiled shrimp.
Oh, cool!
So it was like it was shrimp cocktails, what it was basically, but it was just like that was
different.
She would make that every Christmas and Thanksgiving, and we'd drive up from Austin. And I don't remember. I think we stayed with her, or we stayed at the lake, maybe, because my parents had a lake house just north of Houston, which is about an hour north of my Aunt Nelda. So I think we went up to the lake. So if we weren't at my Aunt Nelda's, we were at the lake, and we had people over. So I know we had a couple of Thanksgivings in Austin, but I just don't remember them very well, just because of my memory. What about you? When you were living with your dad up until when?
12 to maybe 14. Not long.
And then after that, you went over to your mom's?
Yeah. Well, I would have gone over to my father wouldn't have cooked Thanksgiving.
Okay. Did y'all do anything for Thanksgiving with your dad's? Or did you always just go to your mom's?
I would just go to my mom's. He wouldn't go. I would go to my mom's.
Well, yeah, I didn't think your dad was going to your mom's.
I don't remember what we did when we lived in Germany.
Did they have? I assume they would have had something on base.
Well, we didn't live on base.
I know, but you could have gone on base to something.
If my father was in town, because my mother didn't drive.
Yeah.
And if he was deployed or if he was off doing something, then it was just us at the house.
Okay. Yeah, there would have been no reason for you to do anything.
Yeah, and I don't remember really having big, extravagant Thanksgivings until Mom and Pop's.
Is there some fall feasting festival similar to...
In Germany?
Mm-hmm.
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
I know there's a special Christmas dish, but I don't think there's anything...
in Germany, do they have like a big Christmas? Because like in the United States, usually like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and then Thanksgiving are the big feasting celebrations where you have a bunch of people over and eat.
Yep.
Is there anything like that similar in Germany?
Well, in Christmas, yes.
Okay.
Because it's all that Christmas is massive there, where you go to the Christkindl markets and things like that. Christmas Eve was always at a family member's house, and then Christmas was with the immediate family always.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we're going to do a Christmas episode, so I'll talk about that then. But for Thanksgiving, like I said, I don't remember really like going to my grandparents in Illinois, or I think we just had was just another day. I don't remember doing anything like special.
Has your mom gotten figured out all the good recipes for?
Oh yeah, yeah. And Mom got a little soul in her, so we have like collards and turnips and.
Did she make both?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, because me and Ashley we like the collard greens, and everybody else pretty much likes the turnips. But she does both for both of us, for all the family.
That's some love right there.
That's because she loves me. I'm the favorite, because I'm the first.
You're biological.
well, that too as well. But what I was going to ask you is, because you said you always you always went to your Aunt Nelda's. Mm-hmm. Did your dad's side of the family ever get mad that you guys didn't do stuff with his side of the family? Maybe not mad, but like,
No, because I know we did do stuff with them, because we would go, so Mom's family was in Houston and Dad's family was in Northeast Texas, so probably about 3 hours away.
Okay.
So we split, the ones I remember the most are at my Aunt Nelda's, right. But I know we went to my dad's quite a bit. Like we would go when my grandmother was still alive. She had this little tiny house. She had a house in a tiny little town called Kaysen, which is literally like 400 people. And we would go up there, and I know I have memories of doing Thanksgiving up there. I don't think we did it as much though.
Gotcha.
But I don't no one ever. I think we did it more at my mom's side of the family than my dad's, but I don't know why. I'll have to ask Mom about it. And my mom and dad, my mom is loved by all my dad's family.
Right. So
if there was any hard feelings, I never heard about it. And
I got you.
There would have been, because Mom's such a, pushover and sweetheart.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine she would have intentionally ever done anything to hurt anyone's feelings.
Yeah,
so.
very, very true.
What about I guess your grandfather and your uncle up in Michigan? Is that right? Illinois. Did they try and get you to come up for Thanksgiving? Or
Not as a child.
Okay.
Not that I remember as a child. As an adult, me and my cousin, since my work is really cool that we have a 4-day weekend. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm off.
Right.
Always. And then if I could get like Monday and Tuesday off, I would drive after Thanksgiving with Mama and drive up to Illinois, Indiana, meet my cousin, and then we would switch back and forth who would drive to Grandpa's, which I call him Gramps. That was my name for him. And so we did that quite a bit as an adult. I would drive up by myself if Trish was, my cousin was busy or, couldn't get off, that kind of thing. And we didn't really have Thanksgiving at Grandpa's. It was, we're just visiting because it's a long weekend. Because Gramps, it was just him because my grandmother's been dead since I was 16. So it was just him. And then my uncle, he was either working or, doing something else. So we never really got together as a family, to sit down and eat. But Gramps would go and, we would go to their little store because it was his little town. They were excited when they got a McDonald's and a street light. So, it's itty bitty. Their grocery store, because they only have one, which is crazy to me considering how many we have here in Huntsville. We would go there and, we would pick out something to eat and then we would eat it. We've had lasagna one time. I think we had spaghetti another time. And I always wanted to go to the store to get food because my grandfather was a bit of a hoarder. So I was always scared.
Letting food spoil.
When you look in his freezer and there's all these bags with no dates, it's I don't really want to eat that because I don't know how long it's been there kind of thing. So, and then we would go to the grocery store so that I could get stuff for the weekends, to eat and drink and snack on, that kind of thing. And so that's what we did for a few years. And that was always fun because, my cousin's mom lived in Freeport, Illinois, which was about, I think, hour and a half away from Savannah, where my grandfather was. And Freeport is where I remember my dad's side of the family the most.
Right.
Because that's where they had their big house, and, there's a really cool park called Crepe. It's either Crepe Park, I think that's what it's called, and it is beautiful. It has lots of walking trails, and we would walk the dogs, and it was just really good memories from what I could remember. So we would go to Freeport and always drive by because her mom lived just down the street from where their house was, and so we would go visit my aunt and have so that Trish can visit her mom, and we would hang out, and it was just a really good time whenever we did that.
I'm trying to think, we always I think anytime we went out to go see one of the families, because we grew up in Austin. My brother and I grew up in Austin, Texas, which is kind of central, and then we would drive into the lake house and kind of go from there to one of the other the other relatives. I'm trying to think if we had any my family is all pretty good cooks, so we would definitely do the big feasting thing. Right. So, do you have any favorite dishes from Thanksgiving besides the collards?
I was gonna say just greens. I
will say
cranberry sauce.
Cranberry. That's your favorite thing to bring.
That's my jam.
Yeah.
That is. I could open up a can and eat straight out of a can. And I did when I was younger, but not now. But yeah, cranberry sauce is probably my favorite. I don't know why. I don't like it when it has I want the can. I don't like when people put actual cranberries in it.
You just want the jelly.
I just want the jelly. I don't. It's just sweet, and that's usually what ends up being the quickest with all the kids.
Yeah.
I do like the. It's not. It's. let's say sweet potato casserole, or
is it like candied yams kind of thing?
Yeah,
or it's like mashed sweet potatoes with like cinnamon and sugar.
Yeah. So my mom so she didn't know if people liked the marshmallows on top of it or the pecans on top of it, so she'd half it. And she'd do half marshmallows and half pecans. And then no one was really giving any feedback. So she was like, I'm just going to make it the way I want to make it. And so I think it just has pecans. I like that too. This is sweet stuff, I guess, for me. And then turkey. I like turkey. So I really don't mind turkey by itself, but I really like a good turkey sandwich with the leftover turkey. Put, white bread with some Miracle Whip and the turkey and that. I love to make my sandwiches after Thanksgiving.
I like the sweet potato casserole. We always did it with marshmallows.
Okay.
So that's just the way I always did it. Trying to think. It's surprising it's that crab pate because it's such a memory invoker for me because as I've had it for so many years and it always just reminded me of my Aunt Nelda and she had this. I'm guessing my mom and her attended a Tupperware party or something like that because I have my Aunt Nelda's, or I think it's either my Aunt Nelda's or my mom's, but they have this gelatin mold which has a little star insert on the top to give a little it creates a star impression in the mold.
Right.
And that thing is probably older than I am. And, I use it every single year. And I know my aunt had one, my Aunt Nelda had one, and my mom had one. I think I've got my mom's.
I got you.
But, yeah, that is a fucking tradition. And I was so tickled when I started making it. And when Justin first started living with us, he tried it. And he's like, can you make that for Thanksgiving? So, glad I passed it on.
Yep.
You've had it before, haven't you?
Yeah. Do you, is it the same recipe that Nelda used?
Yep. I'm thinking, do you remember in the 50s and 60s, they would have they were trying to get people to, Campbell's would have the recipes.
Oh, on the cans?
Yeah. I think it came from that.
Okay.
I'm not entirely sure, but I love it. It's such a holiday thing for me. I'm trying to think. I don't love turkey that much, but it's I also don't like I don't like ham. It's too salty for me.
I got you.
But I'll eat both.
Yeah.
I like cooking them both because I think it's fun, but I don't know, I'm crazy. Although I will say if for all our 11 listeners,
hi Mom.
if you ever need to, instead of basting the turkey, the thing I have found that is the game changer is to weave a little lattice of bacon. So take a packet of bacon, lay out 4 slices and then weave in another 4 in the other direction. Put that on top of the turkey breast. And instead of basting, what happens is that as the bacon cooks, it starts rendering that fat and it just drips into the turkey meat. And, you take it off in the last 15 minutes to let the skin crisp up a bit. But it is great.
Yeah.
And, everybody I've ever made it for loves it. So
there you go.
Highly recommend.
There you go.
I did see on TikTok though today that Popeyes makes a cooked turkey you can get.
Oh.
You go pick it up and you're just warming it up because it's already pre-cooked.
Right.
But I was like, I bet that tastes good.
Yeah, probably.
Knowing Popeyes, I bet that tastes good.
Yeah.
I will say I'm proud of, I never we never had greens in Texas. I'm sure it was an option. We just never had it.
Right.
I started trying it here in Alabama, and I was rather proud when you told me I put my foot in it. Yep. So I was like, yay, I did a good job.
Yep, you did.
And I feel like I feel like I got the recipe down to a point where everybody likes it. Yeah,
I mean, when we had the big meal the other Sunday, when Justin and his girlfriend decided to join us, and Kiki was there, greens went by quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. If my black children don't like the greens, I'm doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So what dishes do you hate from?
I'm not a big gravy fan.
You and Zane are not.
I don't put gravy on my turkey. Mama always makes gravy. I don't do that.
Do you use gravy on your rouladen though?
Well, it's a different type of. It's not gravy.
But it is.
No, it's not, because it's kind of cooked together.
But I've seen rouladen recipes. So
Mama's rouladen, it's cooked in there.
Well, all right. So let me just give a little background. Okay. So Jennifer's mom is German, and she's talked about this dish called rouladen before, which is
so
skirt steak. You pound it flat. You put a little mustard on it, some bacon, some pickles, and I've seen onions in there too.
No onions on Mama's.
Roll it up, tie it up in twine, and then the recipes I've seen, they sear the meat, put it aside. They put in a little flour and then a little broth, and then once it's up to a simmer, they put the rouladen back in there and just let it cook for about 20 minutes or so to get everything cooked.
Maybe it's because the rouladen's cooked in it. I don't know, but yes. I can do so. Okay. I'm not a big gravy fan, but I do like Jaeger Schnitzel. And it has a brown mushroom gravy on top of it, Mama makes. And so whenever there's potato balls, I don't know the German word for it. It's not Spätzle, because I don't like that.
That's a noodle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, to me, that is just not my jam. I put that gravy on the potato balls, on the schnitzel. Like, it's great. So I guess I'm picky about my gravy.
Okay.
Because, yeah.
See, I like gravy. I like making it because it's just a fancy roux is all it really is. But I like it. I was actually talking to Zane about the turkey, my mom. I was like, oh, I'm gonna make the turkey. She's like, oh, just buy it cooked. I was like, yeah, but if I buy it cooked already, then I can't make the you can't make the stock from the drippings. So I'm like, that's the good stuff. That's the good.
Yeah. So I just kind of think of it like you made the Guinness stew the other day, and you pour it on top of the mashed potatoes. Yeah. So I kind of feel like that's kind of the sauce I like.
Okay.
It's not really gravy, but it's liquidy. It just tastes different. I don't know.
You could.
I'm weird.
You are weird, but it's okay.
Yep.
We still love you.
Yep.
Yeah, Zane doesn't like gravy at all. I like it just because it adds a little flavor, but also turkey can be fucking dry as hell.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm not crazy about, especially with turkey breast, is how quickly it dries out. So like adding a little turkey or a little gravy to it kind of helps re-wet it.
Yeah.
The cats are like going all over the place. Buddy normally doesn't try and jump up on my couch to attack Milo, but he's having a time of it today.
He is.
What else don't you like? Do you like I know you like the mashed potatoes. Do you like the dressing?
Mama doesn't make mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah. We do stuffing. I guess is the alternate.
Okay. We do both.
Well. Huh. There's a lot of people Mama got to cook for, so. She also does a potato salad, sometimes American potato salad and sometimes German potato salad.
The German's warm, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't gravy. I'm picturing Mama's table, and I'm trying to see what I don't eat.
Does she have a good mac and cheese recipe?
Well, because there's a lot of cooking, she just does
box
craft. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it's just
too much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small kitchen and it's a lot of people, so she just does the craft.
I will say your friend Drew gave us a really good mac and cheese recipe.
Yep.
And we've used it constantly.
Yep.
And everybody loves it.
She does my favorite greens too. Oh. Like, I don't have to put hot sauce on her greens, and I put hot sauce on everybody else's greens, Mama's, yours, just because I like that extra little kick. But with Drew's, for some reason, I don't have to have hot sauce.
Might have to add a little something.
Well, I mean, you have kids, and
true. I also
sensitive
you
palates.
and Zane like the hot sauce. I'm okay with it. Like, to me, it's flavorful enough without being. I don't need to be hot, so that's why I'm like, I'm okay with it. Yeah. It's last time I made the greens though. I was you simmer it in a big pot with a ham hock, and we had sliced it all up, and your son and I were like chowing down on the skin, the fatty skin.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, can I have this? I'm like, only if you split it with me.
Yep. Yeah, that boy can eat. He's definitely a meat eater. Like,
Yeah. Oh, he likes
found.
pickled pig's feet, doesn't he?
Yep.
Ugh.
Yep. Mama bought him a jar, and he ate the whole jar.
Has he had them recently?
No. But like he likes Vienna sausages, which just to me,
Yuck.
yucky. So yeah, he can do a little bit of everything. Like, I don't know. He just likes meat. But yeah, looking at Mama's table, I don't think there's anything that I don't get except for the gravy.
Okay.
Now, like other people's food, like I don't like green bean casserole.
Yeah.
And I don't like, I'm trying to think of like I don't know. Like, yeah, green bean casserole. I know a lot of people like to cook that, and I'm just...
I don't like green bean casserole. There's a dish my mom always made for my brother called broccoli and rice casserole.
Uh-huh.
But it's basically cooked rice, Velveeta, and broccoli.
Okay.
I think it is I like all three of those things separately, but those three together, I'd be like, bleh, that's so gross. Yeah, it is not very good. And my brother was actually like, oh, you're going to make it this year? I'm like, if you want it, you need to ask your mama.
Yeah.
All right, Jennifer, take over talking. I want to go shoo the cat away from the meat. What does your family do after you eat?
I already said what we do. We just sit around and talk.
Do y'all play games or anything?
On Christmas, but not on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is more of a let's eat and hang out and talk, and then everybody go home. We might have a game on the TV, and some people might be watching that. But it's not a game. Usually on Christmas, after the kids get their stockings and that sort of thing is when we do the games, or we have in the past. It's not every time. It's kind of just depending on how everybody feels, Because after you eat, it's like, I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah, I understand that.
I can run my mouth, but don't make me move,
What is the Iron Bowl's not
It's Saturday.
That's Saturday. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And I'm such a bad, every time someone from Alabama's like, oh, do you root for Auburn or Alabama? I'm like, hook 'em horns, baby. I don't give a shit about any of these teams.
Yep. You don't even care about the hook
Nope.
horns,
I
but
don't even care about that, but at least it's more representative from where I am at.
Yep.
But what is the big football game on Thanksgiving? Isn't there a big football game on football?
I think there's pro. Yeah. But
It's the Macy's Day Parade. That's on Thanksgiving, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay.
That morning.
Yeah.
Oh, apparently Alabama A&M, which is a university here, we're in Huntsville, they're going to be, the band's going to be in the Macy's Day Parade
Go
this year.
Bulldogs.
When I've been on my porch, I've been hearing them practice.
We have Drew and Tiki both went there.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Drew was on the podcast for season 2. She ended out the season. And my boss, Bonita.
Okay.
Hopefully, I'm trying to get her on the podcast too.
I tried when I met her. I was telling her, come drink, come eat, and come talk shit about your kids.
I have a few coworkers that I'm like, oh, you want to come over and have a few drinks, talk shit about your kids? And both of them are like, or one of them was like, I have my son's a doctor, so it's like I have to see if I can talk about him. And I'm like, you can be generic. And
Yeah.
We don't have to use last names. Or...
Yeah, we'll just say your name's Bob and go from there.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was one of our doctors?
Oh, gosh. I have so many that it could be.
Possibly.
As many as I have. I have so many doctors. That's just sad.
We have a fleet of them.
It's sad.
Well, I said that's a pretty good transition spot. So, for all 10 of our listeners, if you have any funny stories about your kids,
or if you need some bad parenting advice, or if you have any ideas for topics,
email us at guidetopoorparenting, all one word, at gmail.com.
Please do.
Please do. We want your interactions. We're still not good at the social media stuff, but we're trying to get better.
Keyword.
Yeah. Part of it is I don't know how to do it. I'm also I personally I haven't updated my social media since 2016.
Oh, wow.
My Facebook, I do not use. I'll check in every now and then. Mm-hmm. But I don't update ever anymore. After the 2016 election, it just got a little too toxic. And I was like, I don't want to be around this. So I kind of cut it off. And I was actually telling our friend EJ today that I was like, if this podcast ever blows up, I'm going to have to go through all my social media accounts and scrub, because I've had the same username since I was high school senior.
Oh, wow.
For a lot of stuff.
Wow.
So it's all over the internet. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go clean up. Because there's some...
Because you raunchy.
Yes. Yeah. Especially on like X and Reddit. I'm like, oh, I need to clean that shit out. Yeah. What are we having for snack time, Jennifer?
Well, we're eating orange slices because I'm drinking the Orangeaide. And you're eating them just because I had peeled the orange.
Yes. Well, when we set this up, I was like, what the hell do I have around the house? And I've got leftovers of snacks we've had in the past and we never finished, but I was like, I don't think either of us love them all that much. So I was
That's why there's leftovers.
Yeah.
Usually the ones that we really like are gone.
Yeah. And I was like, we have some orange slices. We're having orange. We're having citrus themed drinks.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah. So this week's episode
is brought to you by Florida Citrus Growers.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's your time to do story time is where I was going with that, and then the cat distracted me immensely. So
it'll be fun when we get to start videotaping this, and y'all can see the cats acting a fool.
Yeah. I mean, making faces and not wanting to be on camera. Wearing a hat.
Wearing a veil.
Yeah.
Okay, so story time. So a little backstory. Kalia, about 2 or 3 years ago, started developing a rash. She would have these bumps. She would get hives, basically. These little bumps that would break out all over her skin. And I was pretty sure it was an allergic reaction, but I couldn't figure out what was going on. And so I was like, before I take her to the doctor, let me try. I was like, I know skin sensitivity could be a thing, so let me try replacing your laundry detergent with a free and clear kind with no perfumes or dyes, I think it's.
Right.
So we took her sheets and we took her clothes and we washed everything in this stuff with no perfumes or dyes, and it cleared up. And no more hives, no more breakouts. Well, 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, Kalia was like, Grandpa, I'm having bumps on the back of on her butt, basically, right around where her
underwear line is.
Yeah, her underwear line. She was breaking out and she's scratching herself bloody. And I was like, what the hell's going on? She developed another allergy. And I was putting it on. It was probably the 3rd night in a row I was having to put Band-Aids on her because she was like bleeding.
Aww.
And I was like, baby, you got to stop scratching. She's like, but it itches. I was like, just hit it. Don't scratch, okay? And then I was like, have you been, like, because her mom has bought her body spray. So I'm like, are you spraying this, like, in your, on your lower half at all? She's like, no, it's just on my clothes most of the time. But she wasn't breaking out in, like, spots where she would know, I think she would spray, like, on her chest or something like that. And I was like, Kalia's been washing her own clothes for probably 3 years now.
Yeah.
I would say 3 years. We'll say 2 to be generous. And I was like, baby, did you use Granddad and Grandpa's green laundry detergent? Because we bought Gain and we've been going through a big thing of it.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, Kalia.
There's a reason why you're separate.
I was like, do you not remember the drama we went through 2 years ago where you were like scratching yourself bloody all over yourself?
Right.
Because you had been using this shit. And she's like, yeah. And so every time I see her scratching her butt, I'm just like, remember this.
Yeah. Please remember this.
Yes.
It's funny how they forget that sort of thing.
Oh, God. They didn't think it mattered. I'm like, well, it fucking does.
Well, yeah, that's the reason why you went to this one. We have to go out of our way to get a special one just for you, which is the same at my house. Wesley has Tide, like extra oxy, whatever.
Because he's nasty.
Yeah. And then I have free and clear for laundry and softener because...
Are you sensitive?
I'm very sensitive, yeah. So, I used to get envious when someone could buy a shirt and just wear it.
Oh, yeah.
and I have to wash it before I can wear it.
Well, you should wash it regardless.
But that was when I was younger and didn't know better. But then as an adult, I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't put that on and not wash it. You don't know where that's been, what's been on the,
Especially like thrift store stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it was just, things that they bought from a store. So it wasn't a thrift store. Yeah. It was just a department store or whatever.
Yeah. But even still.
But yeah, as an adult, I realized like that's not the best thing you could do, and don't do it. Wash your shit.
Yeah.
But I'm always don't wear something if it's dirty and wash your shit. So yeah.
You've been dealing with Wesley, like not fighting you on doing laundry. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, little shit, you can go be nasty and dirty.
Yep.
I don't care anymore.
Yep. Because I'm not fighting those little bitty battles no more.
Yep.
You want to be nasty and have no underwear? You have no underwear. Wear the same one you wore. Hopefully you didn't poop in them. And he's like, Mama, I don't do that. I'm like, okay. I bet you do, but whatever.
I would say, I am very, I know someone well who has ADD, who has a problem of not wiping himself. So I'm like, ooh, I can't imagine. Nasty little boy underwear.
But he's so weird about certain things that I think he does wipe well, because he's just weird about, so that boy doesn't want to touch his toilet that he pees and poops in. Not even touch it, but use a paper towel to wipe around the edges when I tell him to clean it. Mm-hmm. But he'll go take a stick and put it in his mouth. He doesn't, I guess it doesn't correlate in his brain that they're all nasty. Don't do any of it. But, so I had to buy him rubber gloves just so that he'll clean his bathroom and not have me stand over him and, you can touch this. You can wash your hands after you get done. Just don't touch your face or your, mouth or anything.
I love how they will be outside playing with a basketball that has been sitting outside. Mm-hmm. Like, God knows what's crawling on it, shat on it, pissed on it, whatever.
Yep.
Play on that thing for hours. Mm-hmm. Come in and then bitch when we say wash your hands.
Yep.
I was like, motherfucker, do you not understand? Like, you put...
Yeah.
I was like, I get grossed out sometimes because I'll pet the cat and go eat. I was like, oh, that's kind of gross. I should be washing my hands. But, oh, God, these kids.
Yep.
Fucking dumb.
Yep, they sure are.
Well, thanks again for all 11 of our listeners to listening to another episode of A Guide to Poor Parenting.
If you like our podcast, please give us a 5-star rating on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids complain having to... try that again. If you don't like our podcast, just like when our kids complain about having to wash anything,
tough shit.
Go wash your hands.
And wash your clothes.
Bye, y'all.